Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. In today's episode of Over the Bench, we're going to take a look at a Husqvarna T540 Mark II customer complaint that it's not oiling. So as we get into this video here, I got to tell you a little story. This was done on a Friday afternoon, last job of the day. I got home, I'm eating dinner, and BAM! It hits me. I forgot to tighten a screw. So it's your job to figure out which screw I forgot to tighten. No, I got on a bike, rode 18 miles to work, inspected the saw. It had a loose screw, just the one I thought it was. It's funny how the mind works, ain't it? So, here we're testing it. I'm running the saw. There's no oil coming out of the oil passage that would feed the bar. So we confirm the customer complaint. And I've given it plenty of time here that it should have started feeding oil by now. We'll take our handy dandy factory Husqvarna tool. You'll notice I've got my thumb on the kill switch, spring-loaded switch. Anytime I spin the clutch like that with a power tool, I always make sure that the stop switch is engaged. So this tan looking piece around the center of the crank there, that is the oiler worm gear. The clutch drum drives that gear. That gear is only driven when the clutch drum is engaged by the clutch. So when the unit's idling, it's not going to feed oil. So you can see here that the gear is stripped. Now you can just put a new gear on there, right? Well, the one thing, if you haven't learned by now, is that if something's broke, there's a reason for it. And you always need to find that reason before you just react to a repair. So we're going to dig a little bit deeper into this oil pump, and it didn't appear to be seized up, but something was definitely not right there. So we'll get this side cover off of here. It's kind of a pain in the butt getting around the brake handle. And by the way, you'll notice that the brake handle is broken. The customer knows that. It was written on the work order when the customer signed the work order. He doesn't want it fixed. So as long as we've noted it on the work order and they signed off on it, you know, I guess we're covering our butts that way. But we try to encourage people to fix the chain brakes. Now I happen to know that this guy is a tree contractor, and he's probably got a bunch of these saws laying around for parts. So maybe if I push him a little bit, he'll replace that handle himself. Now you see that the oil pump was loose. This screw here in the center that holds it on is loose. And that pump moving around is probably what stripped that gear. And even if it wasn't, at least I have a good reason in my head why this broke, and I'm going to repair that. There was no torque on that screw at all. It was coming out, but it isn't stripped. The pump seems to be moving free. As long as we're this far, we're going to take a look at the feed hole on the pump, make sure there's no debris right there. So actually one side's the feed and the other side pumps up the rubber hose. So I'm going to take a little bit of cleaner and get the oil residue out of this hole. And then we're going to get some Loctite and secure that oil pump in place. So remember I told you that there was a screw that I forgot to tighten up? It's not this one. I've got the Loctite on there and a good twist. That one's I got the Loctite on there and a good twist. That one's not coming loose. So we'll put this plate back on, and then we'll get the side cover put back on. Get this thing all bolted back up and see if it oils. There, I found a screw that was loose that I didn't even touch. So everything's got to be just right for this cover to go back on. It's kind of a pain in the butt getting it behind this brake handle. Sometimes you can just kind of snap it in there. Other times you gotta, move the handle out of the way so you can get it underneath there. So we're going to get the cover bolted down. The screw I just put in here is a T25 or 27. And these two others are T20s. So now they must have upgraded this oiler gear, because the new one's going to be a different color. Here I'm just confirming which model saw I'm working on. I didn't remember if it was a Mark II, and I don't remember off the top of my head what the different features are between the T540 and the T540 Mark II. I don't even remember if there's anything here on the side that I would see that would immediately tell me which version it was. Well, put your little sprinkle hat on then. So this is a T540 Mark II. There's our worm wheel. Looks the same, just a different color. We're going to put a little grease on it and install it. I don't know what it is about that screw, but it's messing with me. So I told you that I got home after work and I was eating dinner, and bam! I remembered that I had forgotten to tighten the screw. I went back to the shop and I tightened it. Now last night I made this video, and this morning in the shower, bam! I forgot to tell them which screw they were looking for in the video that I'd forgotten to tighten. So I'll insert a picture here of which one it was, but it's the screw on the chain brake handle. I loosened it up to get that side cover underneath the handle, and I never tightened it back up. So that's all I got for you on the Husqvarna T540 Mark II non-oiling issue. Thanks for watching. Later.